This is a PVT. I don't know too much about Flash for the win style of play or anything. I did play sCriv myself in week 1, which I did manage to beat him in a PVT. Okay, in the left here we have the red Protoss Flash for the win, and on the right we have the yellow Terran Notorious, aka sCriv. And something I want to note or take note of right away is there's a probe going out already.
Come on, Flash. What are you doing, bud? What is this?
Why is Flash for the win playing Protoss? Shouldn't he be playing Terran? Anyway, he's sending out a probe. He sent out one of his first 4 probes here. Okay, so I imagine this is going to be for a proxy 2 gate. I mean, it could be a proxy 1 gate. Wow.
I don't know what he's doing, but it's not wholesome.
Oh,
it's not wholesome. Oh, man.
Look at this. Okay.
Yeah, the timing of his probe was also too early because it showed up at like 7 supply, wandering around a whole bunch.
Yeah, he probably could have just sent like the 5th probe or the first probe that he made and just mined with the first 4, but...
Flash, what are you doing? What are you doing, Flash?
So this could be a pretty quick game either way. I mean, if sCriv defends this pretty quickly, you're well,
yeah, for sure.
Flash could be in a bad spot, but if he doesn't, Flash could just, stream a bunch of zealots in.
I mean, this is one of the things where once a player does something like this, you know for sure their game's going to end quickly, right? Like either they're going to win quickly or it's going to get blocked and then they lose quickly. So,
yeah. And it is actually a 9-9 gate coming out here. I think, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and... Okay, so now I want to know, is this wall tight? That's going to be the most important question. Zealot tight, at least. Doesn't have to be link tight, it has to be zealot tight. So as long as one Marine can kind of sit behind here and SCVs can infinitely repair the wall.
Like, if this probe gets here, he could actually block it. Yeah, he's just going to sit here and block it.
That's it.
If he
build a pylon?
Yeah, if he builds a pylon or something and just blocks this, then I think there's not going to be much to...
Build a pylon.
Oh, he does. He does.
Wait, no, but you can build a depot up here, right?
On top of it?
Yeah. Oh, the SV can't get out?
But then I think the zealots can go through the 2 depots.
Are you sure? Wait, so maybe the Gosu play here? Lift the barracks or this SCV? Bring it up, build a depot, please.
I don't know.
I mean, wait, his spider senses should be tingling. No Protoss player is just gonna build a pylon here. Unless they wanna, like you have to know.
Rush or something. Well, I mean, he did scout the main and saw there was nothing in there with his SCV.
I'm so mad because I want to know if a depot here is going to block or not. No!
You're going to have to test it yourself. Oh, yeah. Well. He gets the zealot in. This is pretty unfortunate for sCriv. I mean, I don't think with the constant reinforcements of zealots.
There's nothing he can do. It's over. He had to block. That's all he had to do. If the wall was completed and if it worked, that's it. That's GG.
Oh, bit unfortunate. Very quick game. Cheeky little move.
Yeah.
He's trying to hold on, but he's lost so many SCVs now. He's got these zealots continuing to stream in.
Very nice.
And there's the GG. Yep.
Yep. So it looks like our dirty Protoss player takes it 1-0 so far before 4 minutes. So I guess we're going to have to jump into the rematch on Fighting Spirit, which I think Snipe is going to host up right now.
Hopefully we get a little bit longer PVT in this game.
No, I don't mind games like that. They're explosive, they're decisive. I mean, it's cool.
Every once in a while, I'll throw it in. Yeah.
Well, because what can I say? I have nothing against proxy 9-9 gate. I've also pulled it out myself quite a few times in my CPL games, actually.
Yeah, or in practice.
Definitely in practice.
Against your teammates. Back in Season 1. All right. I barely had time to introduce the players, and the game ended. So.
And well, we get to do it all over again, so I guess that's something good.
All right. So here in the top left, who just pulled off that proxy 2 gate victory, we have Flash for the win, the Teal Protoss from Scientology vessel.
Yes, very nice.
And then here in the bottom right, we have the Red Terran, Notorious, aka sCriv. See if he can pull it back a game here and tie it up.
Yeah, so definitely this map, as most people know, it's pretty easy for a Terran player to kind of just sit back, play defensively, take 3 bases, and go for a like 15-14 minute 2-1 push. So, you know, maybe we'll be able to see a game go past 15-20 minutes.
And we do see, you know, no early probe being sent out and the pylon, first pylon being built here in the main. So we're not going to see any like a proxy, anything too cheesy, at least early on, coming out of Flash.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting to see if he goes for like the ultimate mind game, you know? Go for the proxy 9-9 gate, and the next game just go like 12 next or something.
Yeah. I mean, they're cross positions too, so 12 next is even a little bit stronger, being that further distance, but obviously you don't know that going into the game, so. Looks like he's just going to go standard, you know, put the pylon down, put down the gateway on 10s. sCriv looks like he's getting ready to set up his wall.
Yeah, and by building the depot here...
for a little bit. I think that depot was a little late.
Okay, also, that's probably not Zealot type. So if a Zealot is being built from the gateway and it comes out, I think the game just can also end at this point too, because I don't think this is tight. Zealots can go through this. You want the barracks here, no? On the left. Or am I crazy?
I can't see where you're pointing to, but yeah.
Yeah, this sim isn't tight though, is it, Snipe? For the Terran player.
I mean, he can lift that too, right? If it's not exactly where he wants it.
Yeah, that's fair enough, but that is lost production time, and yeah, I don't know. I guess at this point it's moot because a Zealot isn't coming. But yeah, that's something you do want to be aware of if you're going to be going for Rax expansions. There is a possibility that the Protoss is making at least just one Zealot.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if this was that. It looks like he's got like the 3 buildings here, kind of to make a wall. But and the probe's going to be able to get in. Oh! Look at that block timing. Maybe.
Well, I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. Like the probe doesn't really have to.
Oh, is he going to steal the gas? Is he going to steal the gas? Oh.
Nope.
It's like, okay.
Yeah, it's not too important though, because the Terran player can always take the gas at their natural. They're taking their CC so quickly.
Yeah.
Oh, but the probe does live.
Delayed. Yeah. Probe gets out.
How? Very
He
nice.
saw everything, you know, sees the fast expand. Terran is just going to go up and scout now. First Dragoon is out. So yeah, I mean, things are looking pretty standard here. We may actually get into a bit of a longer PVT. Bunker coming out now for the Terran. Okay. And looks like the Nexus is coming down on 23. Interesting. Imagine that was just a late Nexus from a 21 Nex build, or maybe he just skipped the Dragoon to get it earlier, I guess. That's probably what he did. Because he saw it was a Rax FE. Which, I mean, it's a good move. You can do that for sure. Get that Nexus out quick because you know there's no pressure coming. You still there?
Yeah, Snipe. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just checking out the build from Terran. It seems like his factory might be a little late. I'm not too sure, but the timing of both his factories, they're pretty similar to each other. And I'm not sure if that's normal or not.
Could be. And Flash for the win is opting to go for a really quick 3rd Nexus here. Even before Robo or Ob's out. This is punishable if Terran's aware of it. Like going for this 3rd base, you can get a couple more factories and do an early push. I know Dark Matter has done that to me a few times when like I used to do this too. Take that early 3rd Nexus, he'd just be able to punish me off of a Rax FE, but I want to say I've wised up to it a little bit, but he still beats me with it sometimes anyways, so. Let's see.
Yeah, I think a pretty meta response by the Terran. What they can do is they build that, 2 factories. They get a tank out first, and then they just mass like 4 or 5 speed vultures and kind of run by because they're hoping or they're assuming the Protoss only made like 3-4 Dragoons, and off these 3-4 Dragoons they took a bunch of expansions. So by harassing with those vultures, they might be able to do a lot of damage and maybe even win the game that way.
Well, sCriv did pull one too many SCVs a little bit early. There's 4 Dragoons now. You just want to have 1 SCV per Dragoon. Oh, don't lose that tank though. Okay, good pullback.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where I think lifting that barracks at all was just a mistake. Leave the barracks there. It makes it so that the Dragoons only have one way of chasing the tank. But in that case, when he lifted the barracks, it was an opportunity. Like, he was inviting the Protoss to just kind of run in and snipe.
Come kill my tank.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, if you lose that first tank as Terran, that's just that much more money the Protoss can do to you with keeping those Dragoons hammering out the front of your base. It just slows you down quite a bit as Terran.
Yeah, and sCriv is adding up a really, really fast bunch of additional gateways or factories. So he's going to have 4. It looks like he's going for a pretty quick sort of timing attack. I'm assuming he'll push out in the next few minutes.
He is going up to 5 fact, and the Protoss is still on just 2 gateways. He's adding 1, 2 more now? Okay. Yeah, he's adding the next 2 now. But we'll have to see. I mean, if sCriv has a chance to do some damage here, this is one of the dangers of going for that earlier next. But if he gives him enough time, that third base is going to kick in. He's going to be able to throw down some more gateways, get out enough units that the Terran won't be able to do anything to it.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on how timely the push from the Terran is. So it's this situation where both players kind of chose different things, right? So Flash chose to have econ. He chose to have really strong economy versus Terran. They want a bunch of units early. So it's kind of, there's a small window for Terran to kind of take advantage of this fact that Protoss doesn't have much, and they push out an attack. So I'm assuming in the next minute or so, sCriv really does have to start considering pushing out and moving out soon. Or else Flash for the Win is just going to be able to add up a bunch of gateways normally and roll over any sort of aggression from the Terran.
Yeah. I'd like to see him like move out with what he has now and just rally vultures across even. Like, if he were to attack at this timing, look, like, the Protoss doesn't have a lot to defend right now. He's got a couple of Dragoons here and there, but I don't know.
Yeah, definitely the longer he waits, the worse it's going to be.
Yeah. Flash actually has a lot of money banked up for some reason. Interesting. No gas. I guess he's just adding a couple more gates a little too late. He should be up to at least 6 gateways now, I would think.
And it looks like sCriv is pushing out right now. So this could definitely do a lot of damage. The only issue is maybe if this army moves out a little too far, it can get countered. You know, these Dragoons at the 3rd might have been able to counter and kind of pull the army back.
He is making mostly vultures. It looks like a combination of vultures and tanks. But yeah, this is a pretty strong timing. He may have given the Protoss a little too much time, but we'll have to see. He's got a fair number of Dragoons out now.
Yeah, and if Flash is pretty quick, he can make a shuttle with some Zealots, and that'll definitely make it much, much harder for the Terran to push. You know, if you're threatening Zealot bombing, mine dragging, it can be pretty difficult for Terran to really do anything in this position.
Yeah, and he just lost like a bunch of vultures there.
There's not really much protection for these tanks. These goons can kind of just run up to them.
Oh, yeah. So he's gonna kill a lot of the Dragoons still. But I think, yeah. So this is one of those dangers, you know, of taking that early 3rd Nexus is, you know, Terran can do this push out. He does have these rallied units coming across the map to kind of reinforce this.
Yeah.
He does, okay, Flash for the Win did make a shuttle. And he's got a bunch of gateways now. I don't think he's gonna just die to this. should be okay at this point.
Yeah, and it just seems like there wasn't good coordination among the tanks that were already out in the map. If you're doing this kind of fast push as a Terran player, you're not gonna have a lot of tanks to begin with, so you really have to make sure they're working together and working well.
Okay, if he could kill this Nexus actually.
Yeah.
I think he will. Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed earlier or not, Snipe, but there was 3 tanks kind of up here that were split off from the rest of the tanks that were actually fighting. So
Yeah.
had these 3 tanks been with the main army, it would have cleaned up that Dragoon force much easier.
Yeah. I mean, okay, he's gonna lose these tanks now, but he did what he kind of wanted to do. He took out that 3rd Nexus. And I don't know about sending all these extra reinforcements in here now. Especially now that the shuttle, yeah, he's just gonna lose those tanks without doing much. But still a good move. I mean, he took out the Nexus. That's kind of the timing we were talking about earlier, where if you do take that quick Nexus as Protoss, it opens up that timing that for Terran to do this. And he did take advantage of it, so I like that. But Protoss has a lot of gateways now, and he's teching up to, I guess, Arbiters. He's getting his Stargate and Templar Archives up. Oh, and he's just... okay. Picks off a couple of Dragoons, or just one maybe with a couple mines, but...
Yeah, I'm not too sure, because now that this push has been stopped, yes, it killed 12 o'clock. It killed the 3rd base. But, I mean, what did he do? Like, what did he get in exchange for it? He has, like, 4 tanks out on the map right now. And he doesn't have a 3rd base. And he's kind of spending a lot of time over-microwing these vultures, trying to get some damage done, but I don't think it's worth it. Like, he can... his APM can be put to better use, I think. He could have been securing his 3rd, like, 2-3 minutes ago as he was pushing. And maybe added a 3rd, I don't know what these are called, machine shops? Added another machine shop for more consistent tank production.
Yeah. I think you, in general, you want 1 machine shop per gas that you have.
And so there's like 7 tanks out on the map, and that's not very much considering the size of Flash for the Wind's army.
Yeah. He threw away a few extra tanks he didn't need to after killing that Nexus. I guess he wanted to rally up to make sure he killed it. But once he killed it, he should have just, sent those units home, those extra units home before they got killed off. And he should have had started that 3rd base, I think, a little bit sooner. Like, he still hasn't started the command... okay, he does have the command center finished. He just needs to float over there. But this is a lot of vultures. Just kind of harassing here at the 4th.
Yeah, I think this is an overcommitment of vultures by far. I mean, I don't know.
Oh. Yeah, he's just gonna get the... I mean, he may get this Nexus down, but he's gonna lose all these vultures too.
Yeah, and
I
as
don't
he's
think
doing this, like, he's not taking his 3rd. Oh, he is now, but I mean, he's kind of, you see how he's kind of delaying himself by having to micro these vultures. They're a liability almost.
Now, if you could do both at the same time, yeah. But by spending more time on the vultures and less time on your macro, you're falling behind in that regard. And especially in a matchup where macro is a big thing like this matchup. Just something to take note of. The first Arb is on its way. He's getting Arbiter energy, actually. I don't know if he has any other upgrades done.
Very nice. Yes, I was told by somebody you can start Arbiter energy and an Arbiter at the same time, and then get stasis immediately after. And by the time the Arb morphs and has 100 energy, like, stasis is ready or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Alright. So it's a kind of random engineering bay here at the bottom of the 3rd base for Terran. He's not that saturated at his 3rd base. I don't know if he didn't transfer very many SCVs. He's got like a ton of SCVs at his natural and in his main, but not a lot at the 3rd. I'd like to see a few more SCVs there.
Oh, definitely, yeah. The saturation is much weaker at the 3rd. But again, it might be a result of paying too much attention to these vultures.
Yeah, so it's like 15 minutes now. The Protoss is maxed. He's getting his 4th base, retaking his 4th base. But Terran's still on like 135 supply.
Yeah, so it's really nice, of course, if you're able to, do a lot of damage with an efficient number of ultras. But in this situation, in this matchup, I think it's much more important that you focus on your macro, focus on hitting, the 200 supply at 15 minutes, 2-1 upgrades, and that alone should win you a lot of games, I think, at the CPL level.
Oh, we have a big engagement. The tanks aren't even sieged yet, and the units are starting to get on top. Like, oh, this isn't gonna go well for Terran. This is probably just gonna, yeah. Like after this happens, it's gonna be really hard for Terran to make any. And okay, yeah, there we see the GG. He knew like once he lost this army, it was done.
Yeah, I mean, Terran really has no business pushing out past his bridge with 140 supply, I think. Especially at this state in the game when there's Arbiters out.
Yeah, like he's pushing around the time he should have been pushing, but his supply is like 50 below or something, what it should be at this point, playing a standard macro game, so. Bit unfortunate. Nicely played by Flash for the win, though, and he takes the 2-0 for Scientology vessel.
Very nice.